welcome to this deep dive. We're tackling something pretty fundamental today, uh, drawn from the insights, this human need, apparently, for order. And tied to that, the idea of an architect behind reality.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that concept recurs, isn't it? The source mentions everything from like a bearded god, a cosmic painter.
Right, or even the simulation idea, a programmer writing the universe.
Exactly. But the core question the insights raises is, well, is this drive really about getting answers? The why.
Or was it more about wanting orders, needing that direction?
Precisely. That's the distinction they focus on. And our sort of mission here is to unpack that tendency, why it seems so ingrained.
The Insights has this pretty striking phrase, doesn't it, about how humans kneel easily to thrones, to doctrines, to devices.
It really makes you think.
It suggests that maybe freedom, that lack of structure, feels empty, like a void. Why do you think that idea hits home for so many?
Well, maybe because having a purpose handed to you, even if it's limiting, it provides clarity, right? It cuts down on the mental effort of figuring everything out yourself.
Yeah, less ambiguity.
It's a framework, and we seem to constantly look for those, which leads right into that Loki quote the source brings up.
Oh yeah, is this not your natural state?
Exactly. It sort of challenges our whole modern ideal of striving for total freedom, doesn't it?
It really does. It suggests we might actually be maybe more comfortable.
Yeah.
Or at least naturally drawn towards having that structure laid out for us.
And then the Insights brings in Nick Bostrom, but maybe not in the way people usually think of simulation theory.
Right. Not just the computer simulation, but the more visceral image. You're not in a computer simulation. You're in a basement being fed hallucinations by an evil scientist.
Which is quite a picture.
Definitely jarring. But what's the link they're making there? How does that connect back to the architect idea?
Well, the underlying theme is still a constructed reality, you see. Whether it's God or a simulation or Bostrom's scientist, it's about there being someone or something pulling the strings.
An architect figure.
Yes. And the Insights makes a really sharp point that the name changes over time. God, demiurge, AI, whatever. But that basic human hunger, as they put it, for that figure, that stays pretty consistent.
It's like we just keep finding new candidates for the job description of universe manager.
Kind of, yeah. But then it gets even more interesting because the source suggests we don't just, find this architect.
What, that we actually...
You build them.
That's the idea. It implies we're not passive recipients. It suggests we're actively projecting, shaping these concepts.
So we're sort of creating the master in our own image, based on our needs and fears.
Perhaps, or at least co-creating them. It's about constructing that order we seem to crave, not just discovering it waiting for us.
Which really tees up that incredibly potent line from the Insights, doesn't it? Meaning, without a master, is a truth too heavy for most to carry. Oof, yeah. That feels like the absolute core of their argument here.
It hits hard.
It really does. It suggests the drive isn't just intellectual curiosity about the cosmos. It's about finding or maybe needing to feel like there is a pre-written purpose.
Because the alternative, creating meaning all on your own,
is maybe just too much, too daunting for many. That seems to be the implication.
Okay, so wrapping this up for everyone listening, the main takeaway from digging into the Insights on this seems to be this really deep-seated human pull towards seeking, maybe even manufacturing, a sense of higher order.
Yeah, an overarching authority, whatever shape it takes, is less about the specific form and more about the presence of that structure itself.
Right, which leaves us with something to think about, I suppose. If we have this inherent need, this tendency to look for an architect, what does that mean for us?
Good question.
Is it a strength? Does it help build societies, give shared values? Or is it actually a vulnerability? Does it make us too willing to accept authority without question? Maybe limit our own potential?
That tension between structure and freedom, again, is the need for an architect ultimately helpful or hindering?
Exactly. Definitely something to mull over.